Greetings, Judah. DFG at Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment and make my, own little proclamation about Black History Month. You know, every year, this particular time of year, February, we go through this big old ceremonial exercise around let's remember the Negro. Let's give them a little shine, for lack of a better word. And it's called, obviously, Black History Month. And so we get to hear about Harriet Tubman, and we get to hear about Frederick Douglass, and we get to hear about, Martin Luther King. We get to hear about Sojourner Truth, and many, many others. And these are prominent individuals, people of what I guess I would call honorary people who have a right to be remembered. But let me be clear. Let me be clear to you, Judah. These people were people who were just little specks of light amongst our people. Most of the people that we are directed to celebrate in Black History Month, they were people who got all of their strength and all of their knowledge from true Black history. Let me say that again. Most of the people, the Frederick Douglasses, the Sojourner Truths, the Harriet Tubmans of the world, the Martin Luther Kings of the world, the Malcolm X's of the world. I shouldn't say X's of the world like there were many of them. The Garveys of the world. All these men. Think about Marcus Garvey was a preacher. Garveyites, they were followers of a preacher. Malcolm X, again, preacher. Martin Luther King, again, preacher. Harriet Tubman, scripture knowledge, a woman that was knowledgeable in the scripture. Sojourner Truth, same thing. And what all these people had in common, they had, the one thing I guess they all had in common, they had in common a common history book to guide them, like the North Star, as they were running from the slave plantations of the South. They had a guiding history book. And I think now you kind of get where I'm going, right, Judah? The sharp ones among us right now, you know where I'm going. We don't need these devils to come and every year push upon us, talking about these heathens, about 1 or 2, 5 or 6 speckles of light, when we have a whole 7,000 year plus Black history book that was hidden from us in plain sight all these many, many, many years. And that book, right here it is. The world calls it the Bible, but it is really the book. The book of who? The book of Black people, so-called. The Negro. Our historians and those who the history was well written of to help us draw true strength. Again, not these, they're not these I don't want to call these brothers and sisters that I mentioned tokens, because they were not tokens. These people lost their lives and put their lives on the line, to fight, for the right of our people. So I don't intend and I will not marginalize them. But in the scheme of the whole book, they're nobodies compared to, Abraham, compared to Isaac, compared to Jacob, who later became Israel, compared to Moses, Joseph, King David, King Solomon, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Elijah, Obadiah, Tobit, Jeremiah, Ezra, and then all the writings in the Maccabees and First Chronicles and Second Chronicles, First Kings, Second Kings, Jasher, the Jubilees, the book of Enoch, the book of Amos. And I could go on and on and on and on and on. What a rich, bright history we have as a people. And yet, many of us, again, are being duped into looking at 4 or 5 individuals that the heathens out there have put out in front of us to distract us once again, so that we believe that the only history we had was on some slave plantation, kissing and begging white folk for crumbs. Liars. We were kings in our book, queens in our book, conquerors in our book, messengers in our book, savers in our book, warriors in our book, great lovers in our book, wise men in our book. The wisest man that ever walked the face of the earth is in our black history book. They called him Solomon. The greatest messenger that ever walked on this earth, who was committed to getting us back on track to Yah, to telling us, hey, you, black man, hey, you, black woman, you are somebody. You have always been somebody. And I'm not talking about messy Jesse Jackson, low-down, rotten, boule ass. I'm talking about Yeshua. He constantly said, you are the people. You're lost. But I'm here to guide you back. This is also in our history book. That is written clearly inside of our history book. Again, everything that you could ever want to know about you and your people, Judah, is never going to be identified in a month or a so-called Black History Month. They already call it so-called Black Disillusionment Month. How about that? The month that we continue to dupe the month, the Black Duping Month. Open up your eyes, Judah. It's time to wake up. Your history is the richest history on the planet of any history. If it was not so, the heathens would not have stole it from you, stole it from us, and whitewashed it, and turned all of our forefathers to white men and claimed them to be their own, even to the point to this very day, stealing our identity all over this planet under the skies of Jewish people as the people of the book, when they're nothing but a bunch of Khazarian, Turkish, Russian renegades out of the Caucasus Mountains out there, who got close enough to watch what we were doing centuries ago, and then came around and stole it, all of it, and hid it from us. So my brothers and my sisters, you look from Black History Month from the heathen, you're never going to find who you are. They've been celebrating this foolishness for how many years now? Since I was a little kid. Probably, who knows how long, 80, 100 years, I don't know how long they've been celebrating Black History Month. What has it done for our people? How has Black History Month caused our people to overcome anything? And yet these lies say, well, it's inspiring, and it's inspired many to go above and beyond. Really? Really? You got to be kind of special stupid to think that telling somebody and teaching somebody that they were always under oppression and that they were always fighting to have the same rights as heathens who really would do anything and had done anything to any human being, and to be equal with dogs somehow would have made them righteous or decent or feel better about themselves. It's no wonder we have not progressed over the 80, 90, 100 years of so-called Black History Month. Because it was set there as a distraction, set there as an illusion, set there as an intentional, false flag to keep us focused on foolishness not again of those people that I mentioned earlier. They were not fools. They were fighters. They were freedom fighters. But they're not our history. They're not our history. Again, our history wasn't coming from the bottom. Our historians and our forefathers were top fighters. They weren't bottom feeders. They were preeminent men and women who loved Yah and who served Yah with all their might, all their mind, all their body, all of their strength. Our brother Daniel faced all kind of hostility, thrown into fires and lion dens, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Why? Because they resist the vicious paganistic worship and the diet of dogs in the skies of human beings. But they stood fast and they overcame it. Now that's some history for you. And again, it's a plethora of great warriors, a plethora of great ministers, a plethora of beautiful queens and women of Yah. Young men, 17-year-old Solomon running kingdoms, 17 years old running an entire kingdom. That's Solomon. David, 17 years old, fighting the most vicious enemy that Israel had to face at that time in the name of Goliath, and whipping his ass. 17 years old. That's greatness. That's some history for you. You want to inspire your daughters? You want to inspire your sons? You want to inspire yourself, encourage yourself? Here it is, right here for you, Judah. Now get off your lazy asses and get to work. DFG. Talk to you later. Bye now.